Hey y'all, this afternoon, this is your buddy George Jones over here at the Bergen Gun Range with my next installment on, hey, I got this old used gun. The old used gun today I've got is an old classic. This is the Model 36. This gun was actually manufactured when this gun was referred to as the Chief, as opposed to being a Model 36. This gun was manufactured in the probably early 1960s. They started calling it the Model 36 about 1964. So, anyway, for all intents and purposes, it's Model 36 Smith & Wesson. It's an older one. It has what's referred to as a flat latch. So it doesn't have the curved, contoured, and scalloped cylinder latch to it. It just has a flat serrated latch. It's a flat latch. It is equipped with a Tyler T-grip. That's this thing. This is what people did, and this is what was available to help increase the gripping surface of a small grip handgun, or to increase the gripping surface of a gun to make it a little bit more shootable back in the day before Pacmar grips came along and that sort of thing. You could get custom grips from people like J. Scott and so forth, but they also made this thing called the T-grip, or the Tyler T-grip. I think you can still get these. They're made out of plastic now instead of aluminum, and they're kind of hard to find, to tell you the truth. It's a 2-inch barrel. I think it's like 2 1/8, 5-shot, 38 special revolver. It's just a really nice little classic firearm. Now, I received this from an estate just recently. The person who held this gun before, he had passed away. He had been a retired state trooper, and he had been retired for probably 25 years. He carried this gun as his off-duty gun. He carried it as his retirement gun. I always admired this gun when he would come out to the range to do his annual Leosa qualification, and this is what he would bring. His wife contacted me and wanted help liquidating her estate without getting ripped off, and I purchased this gun from the estate for fair and square money. I'm not gonna charge anybody per diem to help them out, especially when they're a friend. So anyway, we're going to shoot this old gun here and take a look at it. I've got a target up down here at 7 yards that we've been plinking away at with a 22. It's just a sheet of paper with a target dot on it. 7 yards, we're going to see how this gun shoots. I happen to know that it shoots very acceptably. I did a trigger job on this gun about 10 years ago, and one of the first attempts I had ever made at doing a trigger job on a 38 on a Smith & Wesson revolver, and I followed the book. I didn't get to watch YouTube because we didn't have it then, or we had it then, but there wasn't much any good on there, just old cartoons and B movies and stuff. All right, let's give it a whirl right here off the block so I can demonstrate how well the gun shoots as opposed to how well I shoot it. 5 shots on double action. Frankly, I haven't shot this gun in 10 years. So, this is, and I'm going to start carrying it. I'm going to leave the 85 Taurus in one of the wife's cars, and then, or the wife's car, or she's also got a little Subaru she drives in the wintertime, but she don't drive it very much. And 5 on single. Tyler T-grip helps it a lot too. Very smooth trigger, I remember. I'm used to shooting a Model 15 when I shoot a revolver. It runs out after 5. All right. Let's go down here and take a look at our target. Now, it's full of 22 caliber bullet holes, but I've got them marked. I think we can tell the difference between a 22 caliber bullet hole and a 38 caliber bullet hole. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 right in there. So I typically do better with double action than I do with single for some reason or another. So there's 5 there, and our remaining 5 is in this raggedy ass hole right here. So she shoots real good for being over 50 years old. And this is probably the last this gun's going to get shot for a long time, because it's going to become my everyday carry. Very nice little gun. What's the value of this gun? Well, I graded about 60 guns in that estate. About 40 long guns of various types and about 20 handguns. And I graded this gun at, given its condition, the condition of this gun, it has some wear on it, holster wear, a lot of it. Up around here, of course, up around the muzzle. The end of the crane rod support, the crane has some wear on it. The usual high spots on the gun, it has wear points on it, you know, which reduces the value of the firearm. Mechanically, it's perfect. It doesn't have roll by. It has a nice, easy trigger. You know, a lot easier than a factory gun, because I worked on it about 10 years ago. The overall condition of the gun by the Blue Book is somewhere around 90 or 89 or 88%. The value of the gun, given its age and desirability among the collector market, I put the gun's value at somewhere around $450. Plus, these Tyler T-grips, you see them for sale at the gun show, and they want $50 for them. Okay? And I, in fact, gave $450 for it, because I thought it was the fair market value of the gun. So, you know, of course, we run all those firearms through an FFL dealer. You know, dealers were invited into the garage to look at tables with lots of guns on them that they could purchase in a lot. And the lady would receive her bid for the lot from the licensed local dealer, and she would look at me, and I would say yes or no. And I'll tell you the truth, boys and girls, I didn't make a whole lot of friends doing that. Okay? As a matter of fact, I got one dealer just don't want my business no more. But when you're in that position, you're going to do the due diligence for the unknowledgeable person, keep them from getting ripped off, especially when they're a good friend. So that's where we're at. Outstanding little gun. Beautiful little gun. You see a gun of this type, you know, and you get a chance to look at it and throw that hammer back real quick and look and make sure that cylinder doesn't roll by, and pull that trigger and ease that hammer down and see that that cylinder doesn't have any play in it, and you know that, and you can arrest the hammer and work the action like this and not snap it in front of the guy that owns it. And you look at it and you look down the barrel and it's good and clean, you know, and doesn't have any lead or pits or rust in it. You look at the cylinder faces and they're not scorned, you know. You look at your cylinder gap in the light, okay, and you see that that gun's good and tight. Looking at it, looking through this part of the gun held into the light, and you can see that there's just a few thousandths between it, you know, and you look at everything on it and grade it out. This gun's worth $450 all day long. And those are some of the little tips, some of the things that you do to grade out a used gun when you're looking at it to keep yourself from getting ripped off. Cylinder latch mechanism is good and tight. You know, all of the screws are tight. None of them are wallered out, you know, uh, like that. This is a pin barrel model, and they were for many, many, many years, and the pin's not backed out either way. So, you know, it's a really good, solid little gun. All right, then. That's about the size of it. This installment of Hey, I Got This Old Used Gun. Like a tape, share a pie, commentate, and subscribe. Leave me no dollar in the Patreon bucket if you want to, and if you don't want to, I'll just keep right on making content for you. All right, then. Be good to your neighbor, you know, and we'll see you when we see you. Bye now.